Good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight. I'm LAURYN MASIKA KAZIMOTO. Now we start off this newscast with President Museveni has been hailed for his value addition vision that led to the setting up of a government-owned state-of-the-art leather factory in Kawumu village, Luwero district. The president was commended by a delegation from the Common Market for Eastern and Southern African COMESA, who had paid a visit to the Tannery on Thursday. The delegation, full of experts in the leather industry, with representatives from Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, and Burundi, Zimbabwe, Eritrea, and Malawi, are in Uganda for the 13th Annual Regional Consultative Forum for the African Leather and Leather Products Institute. They described Kawumu Tannery, located at the Presidential Demonstration Farm in Makulubita Sub-County Luwero District, as a confirmation that Africa is moving forward. The 12 billion shillings facility that was commissioned by President Museveni in October this year sits on 10 acres of land with an expansion plan which will cover an additional 10 acres. The State House Controller, Miss Jane Bareche, welcomed the COMESA delegation to Kawumu Leather Tannery, saying their visit will help Uganda improve their leather production. She informed the team that despite its infant stages, the factory has shown a lot of potential because the leather produced is on high demand. She also added that in future the shoemaking factory is going to be established to expand the value addition of the president and job creation. From Zimbabwe, Professor Stiwala Mundia, who was equally impressed by the facility, pledged to work with the government of Uganda in terms of research and called upon the COMESA region to work as a team and fill up the markets. Mr. Abdul Hakim Sekandi, who is serving as board of member of the Africa Leather Institute and also chairman of the leather industry in Uganda, commended the government of Uganda for the great strides made so far in developing the leather industry. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has encouraged the newly wedded children of the Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu to make God a priority in their marriage. The president, who was represented by the Vice President Jessica Lupo, applauded the children for bringing honor and pride to their family and to always reflect on the vows made.
Dr. Joseph Kwagala Kazimba, son to Reverend Dr. Stephen and Margaret Nagai Kazimba Mugalu, has married Lina Kwagala at St. Paul's Cathedral, Namirembe. The function was presided over by Bishop Sheldon Mwesigwa of Ankole Diocese. In his remarks, read by the Vice President Jessica Alupo, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni thanked the couple for taking an important step and the courage to vow before God.
Congratulations to the groom, Dr. Kwagala Joseph Kazimba, and the bride, Mrs. Kwagala Lira, upon your wonderful decision to enter into holy matrimony. Today, you are starting a new chapter in your lives as a husband and wife. I commend you for taking this important step and the courage to vow before God. I wish you joy and fulfillment in your marriage.
The president said by this marriage, the children had both pride and honor and encouraged them to continue praying and embarking on their marriage vows. The couple was advised to anchor their marriage on love, honesty, patience, prayer, and good communication.
I want to thank the two families, the most Reverend Dr. Stephen and Mama Margaret Nagai Kazimba Mugalu, and Mr. Lutwam Isaac and Miss Sue Bisara. Today, your children have given you honor and pride because you labored to instill into them the right values through your constant guidance and exemplary conduct. To the bride and groom, Today, you have become husband and wife, and we have all come here as witnesses to the eternal vows you have made before God, to love and cherish each other.
The Archbishop, Dr. Kazimba Mugalu, expressed gratitude to the Lord for the blessings upon his children and for enabling them to witness the marriage of their children. The church ceremony was attended by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, ministers including Ruth Nankabira, David Bahati and several other leaders from the church, the kingdom and the royal family. Lydia Chomkama for UBC News.
Now, the Chief of Defense Forces, UPDF, General Wilson Mbasu Mbadi, has saluted his men and women in uniform for their concerted effort, which has recently seen Uganda repulse back the M23 rebels who had invaded Uganda's territory in an operation which left 20 to 30 attackers killed and others arrested. General Mbadi has been witnessing the office handover of the newly appointed army commanders at an event held at Bombo Army Barracks in Lira district.
This week, reports of invasion and attacks by gunmen attached to the Congolese M23 rebels kept on trickling on different social media platforms, indicating how they had crossed to the Ugandan side of Ontaroko district. However, the rapid response by Uganda's security forces, UPDF, restored peace in the area in an operation which left close to 30 of the attackers killed and others arrested. The move has been highly commended by the Chief of Defense Forces, Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, General Wilson Mbasu Mbadi.
I therefore want to take this opportunity to thank the CLF and Mountain Division for the job well done recently. Hawa washambazi walijaribu kutudivert, wakaingia, wote wameisha, wote. Hakuna moja aliyorudi. Mwenye alijaribu kurudi anaogopa moto, maji likatusaidia naye ikachukua kwa leki. But we can account for all those who crossed, tried to cross. But I was watching, nilikuwa nasikia nani Senyonyi saying, how could ADF mlienda huko mnasema mnaenda kuwapiga, alafu how could they cross? Nani wewe ndio unajua kuzungumza na hawa. Wewe waambia hapana, this is a tactic. We were canalizing them where we can deal them. Tunaangalia huko sasa hatuone ili waingie kwa trap yetu tuwamalizie pale. And that's what exactly we did.
According to General Mbadi, the leadership of UPDF, with guidance from the Commander-in-Chief, will continue to enhance the capabilities of the armed forces of Uganda to fulfill their constitutional mandate of keeping peace and security.
With the guidance of our Commander-in-Chief and all of us here, we will continue to enhance the capabilities of this force to ensure it secures this country.
He was presiding over the change of guards in the army in line with the 7th December 2022 promotions and appointments by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
I accept to take over this office, and with commitment that I will always be obedient to my superiors.
In the new changes made by the President, Major General Francis Takirwa was appointed the Acting Deputy Commander Land Forces, UPDF, as well as Major General Jaba Kasumba as the Acting Chief of Staff, Land Forces.
I will try my best to ensure that the Land Forces contributes to the recovery of all those roaming UPDF attires in the wrong hands.
Create more leaders. Because we are not immortal. At some point we want to go, and we don't really want to leave a gap. You can imagine in this situation that our elders, those who were there before us, have prepared for us. And then, wewe kwa sababu unachunga ofisi yako, unapigana na toisi yako, na admin yako, you fail to groom others. When you go, you leave a gap.
The CDF also reminded all the men in uniform, with the new office bearers inclusive, about their mandate of safeguarding the territories, properties and lives of Uganda's citizens.
Let's continue to work together so that we can make our force more effective, more professional, motivated, for it to match the security threats that we are dealing with now and those that may emerge in the future.
UPDF is Uganda's main security organization charged with the full responsibility of defending its territories. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The appeals chamber in The Hague has dismissed all the 90 grounds of appeal filed by the former LRA leader Dominic Ongwen and upheld the 25-year sentence in the case where Ongwen was challenging the trial chamber's decision. In dismissing the appeal, court was of the view that the applicant failed to prove to the court with evidence that the lower court erred in law when it convicted Ongwen on 61 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
The former commander of Lord Resistance Army, Dominic Ongwen, appealed a conviction and sentence of 25 years in prison by the International Criminal Court situated in Hague. Dominic Ongwen was convicted with 61 counts of crimes of war and crimes against humanity. Ongwen presented 90 grounds of appeal, saying the trial chamber erred in law, facture and procedure in convicting and sentencing him with offences. Ongwen told court that court also erred in law when it relied on the evidence of acts that he was not charged with, causing prejudice and making the trial unfair. Other grounds include the failure by the trial court to adequately address the issue of mental illness and race, under which Ongwen was operating, among other grounds. The panel of 5 judges of the International Criminal Court Appeals Chamber, Judge Luzdel Kamin, Judge Piatao Halfmask, Judge Solomi Balungi Bosa, Judge Reina Lapin and Judge Gosha Rod Kipandize presided over the appeal. After perusing submissions from both sides, basing on the doctor's evidence, the appeal chamber confirmed that Ongwen did not suffer any mental illness before and during trial.
The appeal chamber concludes that the defense has not demonstrated any error in relation to the trial chamber's finding on duress as a ground of excluding criminal responsibility pursuant Article 31(1)(d) of the statute.
Court was not also convinced that Ongwen did not participate in abduction, forced marriage and forced pregnancy, yet he was the commander by then.
That while there was evidence that some persons did believe in the spiritual powers of the Joseph Kony, the evidence consistently showed that for many persons who stayed in the LRA longer, their belief followed a pattern.
Basing on offences Dominic Ongwen was found guilty with, the appeal chamber agreed with the lower court that all the relevant crimes Ongwen committed them during his adult age. With the issue of environment, which may have forced Ongwen to commit the offences, court agreed with the trial chamber's decision by dismissing the ground. The appeal chamber objected to all the 90 grounds, challenging the conviction and sentence against Dominic Ongwen in the decision of 4-1. Prosecution in this matter was represented by Mami Mandie, and defense counsel was Charles Teleke Taku. Dominic Ongwen committed these offences in northern Uganda between July 2002 and 31st December 2005. Deborah Nama Monde, UBC News.
The third Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, Lukia Isanga Nakadama, has cautioned RDC and RCC from Acholi and Lango sub-region not to fall for corruption by government officials who come with intentions of sabotaging government programs and projects. Lukia says these should use their constitutional powers and the executive order given by the President to expel them from their districts.
Third Deputy Prime Minister Lukia Isanga Nakadema, who was addressing the RDC and RCC from Gulu City, has cautioned them to build a good working relationship with the political wing and other stakeholders in their respective district to enable them to fight those who promote hybrid contracts in their district.
Sometimes you see that the RDC is going his way, and then the political leadership at the local level, they're also going their way. You know, RDC doesn't communicate with the LC5 chairperson. LC5 chairperson does not communicate with the RDC. Then the DISO is also his own. You see, you find a district where everybody has his or her own corner. Yet, it is the RDC who should bridge that gap.
The minister's statement came after the RDC and RCCs raised concern on the hybrid contract system, which is costing government billions of shillings as the contract is always awarded from the central government, ignoring the office of the RDC, RCC and lower local government with contract informations.
In my district, I have water for production, the Agora irrigation scheme. These are hybrid programs where the contracts are given from the center. Up to date, there's nothing. And these were key issues in the manifesto of the NRM in 2021-2026.
This particular contractor, China 7, which is in Arua, it is in Kitgum, it is, I don't know, in Hoima. It really makes life so hard. When you want them here, then they'll run around. When Kitgum wants them, then they run around. But
Dr. James Toheyo, Commissioner Secretary of RDC, tasked RDC and RCC to never commission any projects in their area without availability of all the project documents, including project's bill of quantity in his or her office. And they must share such document with the political wing of the district.
The contracts may have been awarded from the center, granted, but you as the RDC, please insist on having the contract document, because in many cases, either you launch these projects, you launch them, I don't know when you go to launch them what you do, whether you insist that you can't launch them without the documents or whether you go and launch. Number two, the minister may come to launch, but 99% of the times when the minister comes to launch, they reach out to you and you accompany them. You brief them before they even launch.
Fred Bamwine, President of Commissioners, in charge of Kampala Metropolitan's cautions RDC and RCC to use both the executive orders by the presidents, which mandated them to share the district security committee to be in charge of monitoring and implementation of all government projects in their district without fear.
Article 203 of the Constitution, which specifies your office. You see, once they say that you are the chairperson of the district security committee, there is nothing that is not security. Let it be a school, let it be a road, everything is security.
The third Deputy Prime Minister was in Gulu to launch a 2-day capacity building workshop on supervision to service delivery and monitoring the implementation of 2021-2026 manifesto of the ruling NRM party. Stephen Okello reporting for UBC TV in Gulu City.
Thank you, Stephen Okello. Now a truce to have harmony between Speaker of Parliament Anita Among and Housing State Minister Persis Namuganza is being proposed to ensure peace between the two. Minister for Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, prefers a peaceful resolution as opposed to a censure motion. Addressing journalists at Media Center in Kampala, Baryomunsi appeals to Parliament to concentrate on development-oriented activities as opposed to what he says is petty.
It is a matter that continues to dominate the Ugandan media space for about a week now. accusation and counter-accusation between two female national leaders dominating talks among members of parliament.
When I read through the censure motion, I didn't find anything scientific to pin the person who is going to be censured. Therefore, I found it without merit, and for me, I think it should collapse.
The talk is as a result of a discussion on the floor of parliament that has seen Housing State Minister Persis Namuganza defend herself.
In the future, I intend to move a motion against Honorable Magogo Moses and the Speaker of this House, Anita Mong, for procuring a fraudulent marriage, which is turning into a personal fight in this House.
The matter is now drawn to the attention of government and the ruling NRM party. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi is the Minister for Information, Communications Technology and National Guidance.
We are going to reconcile these two leaders, the Minister and the Right Honorable Speaker. Because the NRM as a party and indeed as government, we believe in the cohesion, we believe in leaders working together, we believe in reconciling people.
Baryomunsi wants a peaceful resolution to the standoff, as opposed to a censure move against the Housing State Minister.
Even when it comes to censuring a minister, there are more convincing grounds and stronger grounds, which probably even would persuade Ugandans that maybe a minister should step down or a minister should be censured. But there's these quarrels between leaders.
He appeals to Parliament to concentrate more on development-intended legislation.
Because Parliament has more useful work that should drain our energy so that Ugandans benefit from a Parliament. We wouldn't want to see a situation where we spend lots of time and energy in such issues.
Baryomunsi's concerns are coming at a time a war of words seems to be erupting between the Deputy Speaker of Parliament and Internal Affairs Minister, General Kahinda Otafire. Otafire recently decried parliamentary congestion, which he said compromises the quality of debate.
I used to talk for 15 minutes. Now I have to compete for 3. Because there are so many, they are only allocated 3 minutes. What do you say in 3 minutes?
This has not rubbed Thomas Taewa the right way.
The questions of 1986, when some people came from the bush, might be the questions of today. But the answers are totally different. Answers are not those ones where you have to remind us that you came from the bush, you had guns. No, the narrative is totally different.
How far a quest for harmony between Speaker Among and Minister Namuganza will go is an anxiety which only time will settle. Henry Okrut, UBC.
A team of armed forces from the East African Standby Force Community Partner States have today completed a 2-week operational training on chemical emergency response planning and management. The training was aimed at reducing on the fears while an emergency on chemical attacks occurs in any part of the partner member states of the East African community. We have more details in this report.
The 2 weeks training held at Uganda Rapid Deployment Capability Center at Gaddafi in Jinja has been concluded today with a call to an end to the misuse of chemicals which could result into hazards leading to loss of lives. In his remarks, the Permanent Secretary Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Mr. Agro David Chibinge, who represented Mr. Omar Odong Francis Kimolo, the training is very important in identifying the dangerous chemicals when used.
We've been here for the past almost 2 weeks and for a purpose. When you go back to your respective countries, propagate the skills that you've gained, and we can have an East African community that has the capacity to respond to any chemical emergency at the right time.
Odong further reassured of government's commitment to support trainings in response to chemicals emergency and planning.
Recommendations. We are also implementing what we call the Chemical Safety and Security Program, which is to coordinate, put in place mechanisms to safeguard the population and the workers in particular against misuse of chemicals. And that is through awareness creation, building capacities of institutions, and like for today, you can see that we are in a civil military cooperation where we've got the first responders who respond to chemical emergencies being trained in an international arrangement where we've got the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemicals.
Police commanded by DPC Wakiso Katulamu has arrested Dr. Apollo Kagwa on orders of the State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, over allegedly trespassing and destroying the property on the land he claims to hold a 1 square mile title. The meeting was held in Kakunyu Village, Namusera Parish, Wakiso District, where all parties were represented, including the RDC Wakiso. Justin Mbabazi was also present.
The State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, held a community meeting in Namusera Kakunyu Village, Wakiso District. He's responding to the petition the Lands Ministry received from the Bibanja holders from Kakunyu and Sekwa villages who wanted protection from Dr. Apollo Kagwa, who drove them off their Bibanjas, destroying all their plantations, properties and burial places. The State Minister of Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, ordered the DPC Katulama to arrest Dr. Apollo Kagwa over destroying property and crops.
Wakati ye sub article 8 egamba nti gwe munnakibanja ku kibanja kyo tewali akukwatako security of occupants. Ebibanja agenda n'ebyapa by'owagula mpewo. Kamutanda n'agoba w'ekibanja ku kibanja kye akwatibwe akirikike. Mbagira kakati nyabo mbabazinga okwesaba polisi botuwadde Kagwa akwatibwe avunaanibwe ajja kola entegeka buli muntu akakasenti kye kibanja kye kyekyo kyagebwajo yenna amuyambe okuyumuzaako.
The local narrated the ordeal Dr. Kagwa took them through.
Okatujjako simu ne balyoka batandikira okwo ebintu byonna n'abyonoona ne batukubakuba byonna ne babisaanyawo byonna.
Enjuba agikoona kiro ne basiba omwami ono nga bw'omulaba ku myaka gye ate katyala museemu lwe abadde mulwadde nga agikoonye ebagwire simanyi nabwe nyinza kyogera kuba bwe natuuka wali nawulira obulumi naye nga sirina kyakkola.
Gemulaba sikabala kuba nti ki abati dokita bwabanga dokita atuleke tugende ku bijja waakiri tulimenga.
Minisita tulina amaziga mangi nnyo nze ntambudde omwami oyo ankubye eyo mu kibanja atugobye mu kibanja ntambudde ku polisi zonna ezze mu Uganda wano yonna nebangamba nti oyo munene nnyo tagambwako.
The RDC Wakiso Justin Mbabazi assured the locals of security and also promised to bring everyone back to his or her chibanja following the orders of the minister.
Nebo munanchawa, nebo munanwanyisa, nebo munakola mutya katonda nga muyina tewali kyengenda kuba. Ate ne President Museveni okutusindika nga RDC tumukiikirire mbalayirira tetugenda muli amuluku.
Jamir Sekaja compiled the story.
The Equal Opportunities Commission has expressed the need for government to plan for the increasing number of vulnerable people as a result of issues like the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to implementing the policy on marginalized persons. While addressing the press at Media Center in Kampala, the chairperson, Equal Opportunities Commission, Hajat Safia Nalule, said the commission, through research, is to embark on mapping Uganda to locate all schools with special needs children and health facilities to assess if they provide for equal opportunities.
The Equal Opportunities Commission is an Act of Parliament of 2007 that is mandated to monitor, evaluate and ensure that policies of all organs of government are compliant with equal opportunities. The Commission realized that children with sensory disabilities are very expensive to bring up and educate, yet the money government allocates to special needs is little.
That, for example, Minister of Education has allocated 200 million shillings to special needs education. The eyes had to be operated, the ears had to be operated, and actually there were chips were put, above the ears. And this child, if I give him as an example, now he regained some sight, chips which are put here, and the hearing aid, just the hearing aids which are customized, cost 30 million shillings.
However, the Commission realized that the provisions for gender and equality in the law are not being implemented by translating them into national plan and budgets, hence development of a management and information system. Although there is a policy on marginalization, Equal Opportunities Commission says government needs to plan for the increasing vulnerabilities.
Seen issues like COVID-19 are bringing many more people into the vulnerable sector. And the government actually has to get prepared to handle the so many numbers of people who are getting into the vulnerable sector.
The Equal Opportunities Commission is working on coming out with recommendations to review the current policies that govern education, like school fees, to ensure that children are not marginalized due to hiked fees.
And this is in the fees before 2022 was 1.26 million. At the beginning of 2002, it was 1.8 million. And at the beginning of next year, 2023, it is 2.5 million.
Legislations, the current legislations, and perhaps to make recommendations for amendments of the law so that we ensure there is no further marginalization of our children and we ensure that there is universal.
The Commission also recommends that government considers recognizing other ethnic groups in the Constitution because they worked on over 400 cases on marginalization and discrimination of these communities. I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
Thank you, Nafka Farida. Now, recruits of the Konyi Bush War are linked to rebel groups that destabilize northern region and Gulu in particular. This was revealed in a report on gender, justice, livelihood and rights in northern Uganda by Makerere University College of Humanities and Social Sciences in partnership with Gulu University and Amani Institute Uganda at the Regional Convention 2022 in Gulu District.
Gender-based violence, high levels of criminality and torture are rampant among societies in Padeo and Gulu. The post-war impact in northern Uganda has also seen criminal gangs, literally known as Agu, rise. Agu, a term that refers to an association with socially isolated groups struggling to exist within pre-established norms and rules of society in the context of northern Uganda, has threatened lives and security of residents and university students. According to Professor David Okero Owinyi, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Gulu University, the word Agu denotes massive torture and killings.
I don't think force alone will help. The government has used force to gather all these people and lock them somewhere, but it has not helped. They still keep coming. So we need another way or better ways of handling, other than using force. We need to create hope in them. They need to have hope. If they have hope, they will start changing their way of life and they can do much better.
The research hub's significance is to put emphasis on improving security in northern Uganda, as Professor Josephine Heichire from Makerere University elaborates.
Don't plan to arrest. And also, we always think about parenting or psychosocial support. We need a much more, what you would call a Marshall Plan for the Agu in this region.
However, Professor Heichire says jailing of Agu members isn't the best solution and demanded for other interventions for peace stability in northern Uganda.
These people who are born, and there is that identity question that denies them belonging. And once they are floating, then they also find their level and they make a community and they construct subcultures. And one of those subcultures, why they have become visible, is that it tends.
Dr. Amon Amwine Ashaba, the lead researcher and lecturer from Makerere University, is optimistic. The research is targeting livelihood and rights in areas of Gulu, Amuru, Omoro, and Padeo.
And they have caused insecurity in the region. If you talk about Agu, anybody will tell you this is a widespread social problem in the post-war.
Amwine appeal to government to prioritize the focus on the questions of identity, but not put cracking down Agu members to the forefront.
The kind of experiences of social belonging, of harmony, what they call belbedo, all those have been eroded, and they are searching for who are we.
Residents demanded for an arm from government while handling Agu members, as they were fierce and deadly. The local leaders shared their experiences on the Agu members. Acquisition of national identity cards remains a challenge among Agu members, as many don't know their lineage and family backgrounds. Kayumba Stephen compiled this report for UBC News.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Leaders who care create a good learning environment.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash and now you are on. No waiting. Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Get yourself a Zuku TV decoder and satellite dish today at a low price of only 105,000 Ugandan shillings, and a Zuku decoder at only 60,000 Ugandan shillings, and enjoy your favorite movies, series, kids entertainment, music, local and international news, and lots more. Enjoy amazing packages like Zuku Smart Plus, Zuku Classic, Zuku Premium, and Zuku Asia. Get connected today. Zuku, life got better.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution, or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone, or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad that you're still with us here on UBC News Tonight. I'm LAURYN Masika Kazimoto. Now, government has been applauded for effectively pursuing asset recovery that has facilitated realization of over 3 billion shillings funds that had been swindled. While releasing the 4th quarterly report on the rule of law, the Uganda Law Society also applauded government for effectively containing the outbreak of the Ebola virus disease in Kasanda and Mubende districts.
The Uganda Law Society has this morning launched a report with the praises for government on asset recovery and adequately handling public health matters.
We believe that when government does right, we must applaud it, because we understand that rule of law is not a destination, but it is a journey. Secondly, we have applauded government on its efforts to curb the Ebola virus. We appreciate government protecting the right to to health. That is very important.
In the same report, however, is the appalling state of affairs as regards to violation of human rights. A case in point is the alleged kidnaps, abductions and illegal detentions, with over 1,300 people said to be victims of this.
We've had in the recent past many instances of where people have arrested, citizens kidnapped and tortured. As Uganda Law Society, we condemn these arrests and we've continued to condemn them in different various fora.
It is against this backdrop that legal brains have challenged government on the accountability issue, emphasizing that it is time perpetrators of such heinous acts are brought to book.
Until people are taken on for these violations, the people who perpetrate some of these vices will continue. I have also been informed that Cabinet actually formed a committee on human rights. That's a welcome development. That's a welcome development in terms of holding perpetrators accountable. The major issue from the point of Uganda Law Society is the emphasis on accountability.
The President Uganda Law Society, Bernard Oundo, advises that arrests in line with law enforcement should only come after investigations have been done, as opposed to investigations after arrests.
Don't arrest citizens before investigations are complete. That is one of the reasons why people are being held beyond 48 hours.
The discussion culminated with members agreeing on the need for Parliament to pass the legal aid bill, a tool expected to cushion agencies that have lost out on financial support following the exit of the Democratic Governance Facility, DGF. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Thank you, Dorcas Kimono. Now, a government vehicle belonging to the Ministry of Internal Affairs has today knocked dead a police traffic officer in Lira. Mika Muhindo, who was knocked dead by a double-cabin Ranger, had just reported to work when the speedy car lost control and knocked him about 7 meters away from the road. We have more details in this report.
A traffic officer attached to Lira today was knocked dead by a double-cabin Ranger belonging to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Constable Mika Muhindo was knocked 7 meters off the road to death by the speedy car.
So after knocking the cyclist, it came straight and knocked again the two girls who were going to the garden. And eventually, the driver jumped off. So as it jumped off, the traffic officer who has died had just arrived for work. He hadn't started any operation. He had just arrived and he was alone. The bodyguard who brought him from Lira had just put him and he was going back. So the car lost control and came. He got him hanging a jacket.
Eyewitnesses say the speedy government car headed towards Lira from Doklo side first knocked a rider identified as Bobo Jok, an employee of National Water and Sewerage Corporation. It then hit two ladies going to the garden before veering off the road to knock dead the officer who had just reported for work.
He has always been interacting with us. He is a very obedient person. He loved his duty. He has been executing his duty without fear or favor. And as the resident, we had no any complaint with them actually.
North Kyoga police spokesperson Jimmy Patrick Okema confirmed the incident, which has now claimed 3 lives. Police Constable Mika Muhindo, the traffic officer, died instantly, while Bob Bojok, the rider, and another pedestrian died later while rushed to the hospital.
And being driven by one of our staff, also a police officer, Constable driver Oginere John, knocked motorcycle registration number UEU 841C, which was being ridden by one Udong Bob, and later the vehicle lost control. It went off-road and knocked our staff, Police Constable Muhindo Mika, dead on spot while carrying on his official duty.
The killer car and its driver are currently being held at Lira Central Police Station, while the other squads are being managed at Lira Regional Referral Hospital.
We need to remain vigilant and very careful, and we urge drivers to be mindful of checking the conditions of the vehicle before movement.
Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
A very unfortunate event right there. Now, the Deputy Registrar at a Judicial Service Commission, Emmanuel Mugisha, has urged the public to legalize marriages by registering it at the sub-counties. He said registering customary marriages provides protection of the law in the marriage that also makes it easy in succession of properties in the families. Mugisha added that majority of Ugandans are ignorant about the law and its procedure by thinking traditional and religious marriage bondages are enough to make their marriage legal. Emmanuel Mugisha was speaking during a media engagement meeting with journalists in Arua City and urged journalists to spread the gospel to the public.
A lot of people, after exchanging bride price and settling in a home, they usually forget to go and register their customary marriages. It is a requirement of the law that a customary marriage is registered with the sub-county chief. And until it is registered, it is not valid. Why it is important to have a valid marriage is because of the protection the law affords to marriage parties, a man or a woman. For example, a man who's married in our country, in Uganda, cannot be charged with raping his wife. But if you are not validly married, there is that risk. During marriage, even after marriage, you've had during divorce, parties having to share property, but also in the event of death of either party, then there is a way the law protects the surviving partner in a marriage. The beneficiaries are usually children, widow in case of the death of a man, or widower in case of the death of a woman. But if you have been married to your partner for 10, even 20 years, even where you have children, in case of death, the other party dying intestate, you are not one of the beneficiaries. You will be regarded as a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and those are not beneficiaries in an estate of a deceased person. So it comes with property rights. The important thing is you wake up, go and register it, but you will pay a fine because usually you are required to register it within 6 months. Beyond that, you'll pay like a surcharge for that late registration, but better late than never. URSB is the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, is the institution which is presided over by the Registrar General, who has the mandate of doing the different registration, including marriages.
All right, now UBC News Tonight takes a short break, but we return with business news and sports news.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Multi Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Multi Technologies, your professional research firm.
Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, 5.
I don't even know what he's doing.
7, 8, 9.
Allow me. Paying for groceries with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to conveniently pay for goods and services. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
That's my wife. Yeah, let me just take these coins. Yeah.
Welcome to Friend Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
MTN Boxing Day Special wano ku Resort Beach Entebbe ngenda kuzomwezi 26 December jango umule ochakale orya kumane ulira Africa Band Brand Official Clever J Coco Finger Mata Mkisa Manhattan Chiko Bakusese okwingira shinjo mtwaro gumu esawa munana ngendongo yatandise da kale be Kampala Entebbe Msabizi Chitoro Lunyo Katabi Nkumba Bugonga Kijapani na Chuogo Bugonjo Abentebbe Rodi Mwena ni Kampala yonna musale ku Resort Beach Entebbe tuliye tuge tuzanyira musanyu omwaka gubadde gwa aso mulete byane binyiranga bisawe bye kata omupira nga biguwereza mu Rwanda nasbafata echuma cha balamu sounds bitegekedwa Radio 4 olwo abatadde mu sente
everywhere you go MTN.
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network. Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe? It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Regulated by UCC.
Welcome back from that break. And now into the business scene. The Insurance Regulatory Authority is set to introduce a special agricultural insurance policy to suit farmers, especially those living in rural areas. Alhaji Ibrahim Kadunabi, the authority chief executive officer, is optimistic this policy is to expand the insurance industry.
Cluster agricultural insurance agents will be mandated to sensitize and enroll farmers into the insurance ecosystem.
The government has launched the parish development models, which has a very big component of agriculture. And in support of the Agriculture Insurance Consortium, we want to license a cluster of agents who are going to only sell agriculture insurance to the population. This is expected to bring in about 10,000 agents, new agents, who are only looking at agriculture.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority, Ibrahim Kadunabi, wants smallholder farmers benefiting from different government development projects get opportunities of safeguarding farms in case of uncertainties.
Individualistic in line, and we are having an engagement with the bank agents to see which products they can effectively sell to the masses, and many other initiatives we are doing to ensure that very many people can reach the masses.
The Insurance Regulatory Authority plans to upscale operations of micro-insurance systems for the industry's wide base.
Soldiers who should reach everybody in Uganda or everywhere we are. And the products which address such concerns are offered by micro-insurance companies, or they are micro-insurance products. These are products of low premiums. These are products which cover even your phone, and someone can insure only your phone, and you pay a premium of maybe 10,000.
Stakeholders in the insurance industry have been appealed to reorganize their operations for the implementation of the Insurance Financial Reporting Standards IFRS 17 in January 2023, which is expected to enhance trust and transparency of the sector. Abdul Nasir Lubama, UBC Business.
Government continues to invest significant resources in enhancing internet connectivity across the country, but analysts argue that the massive investments vital in catalyzing growth and development by getting critical ICT-based innovations is leaving out certain communities. A flagship ecosystem event dubbed Build Week, slated for February next year, will be focused on bridging the existing gaps.
Build Week is an inaugural innovation, ideation and capacity building activity aimed at fast-tracking the identification of unorthodox solutions to last-mile challenges across various sector value chains.
We say is that let's go through a series of structured exercises, let's understand, for shelter, for agriculture, for insurance, telecoms, media and telecommunication, for all these key sectors we are delving into. Where are the biggest points of frustration, not just for the people who are creating solutions, but for those who are trying to access these solutions, especially for the context of that last mile, really hard to reach user, where we're saying that are they actually really digitally excluded, where mobile money stops the person beyond that.
The 5-day event slated for February 2023 on the theme, Hack the Last Mile, using shared infrastructure to serve last-mile users fast and better. It is intended to expand the reach of tech-based innovations.
At sectors around this idea of a life transaction of a last-mile or digitally excluded user, this idea of life transactions. And we were saying in a typical year, what are the things that this person interacts with the most, and which ones are the ones that are likely to create the most frustration for this person to move upwardly.
Delivering the power of ICT innovation to where it is needed most is stressed by key sector players.
As the innovation village, and that's why we go and grow across sectors and across boundaries to make sure we're building the ecosystems for young people.
That we need more than double our effort to get to the desired level required to accelerate digital transformation on the research and innovation front. Pushing the digitalization agenda is crucial if we are to attain economic recovery.
Although government has done its part in creating critical infrastructure, such as the National Fiber Optic Backbone, establishment of a national data center, among others, a lot of work remains to be done in getting critical innovations to hard-to-reach communities. Abdul Nasser Lubwama, UBC News.
And now into sports. The second edition of the Inter-Parish Boxing Championship has been launched. It is due on Christmas Day at Butikirwa Playground in Bukoto. We have more details.
Chocho Sports Foundation, in collaboration with Global Sports Mentoring Program, has launched the second edition of the Nakawa Inter-Parish Boxing and Kickboxing Championship.
Together with the Global Sports Mentorship and the US State Department as one of our biggest partners, we believe that promotion of talent and also promotion of skills and also promoting the girl child, most especially, that is the reason why we actually started up this foundation, is we give them a platform to participate in sports and also an opportunity to actually step on the biggest stages, and that is what we are doing. And we are calling upon more women to actually come on board. They shouldn't get scared. We are women that used to play sports, and we are empowered because of sports.
This edition will attract 8 teams, including defending champions Naguru, Bukoto 1 and 2, Chanja, Mutungo, Nakawa, Kiwatule, and Banda. Uganda's Olympian Shadil Musaboji is an integral part of this project and will tip youngsters on boxing skills.
Asobola okuba nga tomanyi yadde omuwa school fees ogenda ku ssomero naye nga yagenda okubeera Messi w'enkya, yagenda okubeera Shadil w'enkya. Kati tusobole okunekyalinga abaana bano tuba mentoring so that tubafunamu ekirungi oba ekyamakulu.
We currently are doing a lot of projects with the GSMP, which is called the Global Sports Mentorship Program. We partnered with Shadil Musaboji for boxing, and then we also partnered with Wabib Pads.
It will be hosted at Butikirwa Playground on the theme of lifting all ghetto talents within Nakawa. Excellent performers will be referred to some of the notable clubs for further honing of their talent.
Organizers of the Enda Boxing and Kickboxing Bonanza have spiced up the occasion with another bout between one of Uganda's finest, Farouk Daku, against Tanzanian Pius Ntenda.
With a little over a fortnight to the much-awaited boxing and kickboxing bonanza, Uganda's cast has been improved by inclusion of Farouk Daku, who will line up against Tanzanian Pius Ntenda. These will contest a super middleweight 12-round World Boxing Union title fight that is organized by Step Boxing Promotions worldwide.
Ndi musanyufu nnyo kubanga fight zonna zenzanye ewaka wano kizibu nnyo okumpangulira ewaka. Era ekyo n'ensi ekimanyi nti ewaka waate kugamba oba support oba kimpulira nga nina amaanyi mangi nnyo nga ndi ewaka. Era ndi so blessed okuba nti n'emisipi gino gyonna nga ngikutte ngikwatidde wano ku lukalu lw'ewaka. Ojjawo ng'oggyeko guno ogwa WBF World Boxing Union Intercontinental gwonna gukwatira Kenya. Yeah.
This fight is expected to attract equal or more attention than the main fight that will pit Charles Mulindwa against another Tanzanian, Hussein Imbonde.
Enteekateeka yange ebadde nnungi nnyo kuba fight empadde akabanga okwetegeka, era nsuubiza bannayuganda mwenna n'abawagizi b'ebikonde temugenda kulaba ekyenjawulo ku mulundi guno.
To be hosted at Aponye Mall in downtown Kampala, the December 31st fight night will also be spiced by kickboxing, especially the fight between Lawrence Mukibi and Amos Sempagala.
Mbakoola mwenna mujje mumpagire wendi nze Sajja Biasin representing a long story. Tukomyewo mu part 2. Part 1 twagigala yali eri Lugogo, kati tugenda kulaga part 2.
Well, that's it for now. We want to thank you so much for your company this evening. Do enjoy, of course, the rest of the week. I'm LAURYN Masika Kazimoto. Have yourself a lovely night.
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all week